to Greece for the Acropolis Rally, one of the WRC's classic events. This is round 8 of the championship, which means we've reached the halfway point of the season. For the last 3 years, Sebastian Loeb has been top of the driver championship at this stage, but this year, Marcus Gronholm is the man in that position.
For sure, it's better to be in the lead, but it's still a long way to go. Many rallies this year.
It was this moment in the last round in Sardinia which gave Gronholm his chance. Drove damaged his steering, and that very soon led to him going off the road and retiring. A rare mistake, but not his first this season.
What's your opinion on the reason that Sebastian's been making mistakes this year?
For me, it's completely normal. You cannot drive rally after rally on that speed to not making any mistakes. So that shows that he's also on the limit and he's trying his best, and you can make a mistake.
I have to push hard all the time. It's always a big battle with Marcus. To take him 1 second, it's really hard work in the stage. So I have to take some risk and to be on the limit all the time.
And there will be no let-up for Loeb in Greece. These stages are as tough, if not tougher, than those in Italy. This was the state that his Citroën Zara ended up in on day 2 last year. He lost the wheel and then had to drag the car back to service.
The roads are really rough in some places. It can be some big stones coming out of the road, and you can hit easily the sun guard and break something or puncture. So it's you have to find the good rhythm in these bad places, and for the rest you have to push hard like everywhere.
Ford's Mikko Hirvonen is just 4 points behind Loeb. He's been bettered by Gronholm and Loeb on most of the gravel events this season. Can he improve on that in Greece?
Mikko, you've made 3rd place your own this year. Do you think you can better that here?
I'll try for sure, and maybe in the start of the year I kind of gave up a little bit too easily the fight and just settled on 2nd and 3rd places. So I need to change that, so try to push a bit harder here.
And here are the championship standings. Behind the top 3, Dani Sordo holds 4th with 28 points. The 2 Solberg brothers are 5th and 6th with 20. The performances of Gronholm and Hirvonen mean that Ford are comfortable leaders in the Manufacturers' Championship. Their lead over Citroën, 21 points. Coming up are some of the roughest, toughest stages of the championship. The high temperatures could make it even harder. On these roads, there's no escaping it. Cars are going to get damaged. Find out which parts you need luck and prayers to protect. Driving to the splits. Drivers talk about it, teams refer to it. We explain exactly how it works and what they do it.
Just keep a note of the figures, I'll come back to you.
Before we go rallying, here's a check where we are on the planet. The rally's based around Greece's capital, Athens. There are 21 stages, including 2 runs through the 48-kilometre Aki Theodori stage, the longest of the season. Stages 9 and 20 will not be run, following protests by local environmental groups. The rally is based in the Equestrian Centre of Rome for the 2004 Olympics. This is also the venue for the super special spectator stage that gets the Acropolis going on Thursday night. And the man who flies off the blocks is Mikko Hirvonen, winning stage 1 by 0.2 of a second from his teammate Marcus Gronholm. Sebastian Loeb's 3rd at this early stage, with Petter Solberg 4th. Stage 2 the following morning gives the crews a gentle introduction to this rough rally. It's not as rocky as many of the later tests. Instead it has a flowing nature, reminiscent of New Zealand or even Finland. And that's championship leader Marcus Gronholm's home rally. Gronholm won this event last year. A win this year would leave him looking strong in the title race as we head for the mid-season break. Just what the 2-times world champion wants. Sebastian Loeb, of course, will be giving his all to stop it happening. The Frenchman won here 2 years ago, his real record breaker of a season. That was the year, remember, he managed 10 victories from 16 events. He led from the first day back in 2005 to take his 5th successive win, and that was a record too. Oh, but he's not starting so well this year. This spin will cost him the chance to take the lead. There, a few seconds lost there for sure. Gronholm, on the other hand, is having a trouble-free run. The stage seeming to suit his driving style, and he posts a good time, 10 minutes, 17.6 seconds. Back to the start, where his teammates, the early leader, is ready to go. Big jump there for the fans. Miko says he's out to fight for a win here. He was happy in Sardinia that he was on the pace of his illustrious teammate and the all-conquering Liverpool. And here is Loeb coming towards the end of the stage. Let's see what that spin cost him. We'll compare his stage time with that of Marcus Gronholm. And look at that, he's already slower. Poor start to the event for the Frenchman. But of course, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And he's 11.9 seconds off the Finn's pace, which means he trails Gronholm exactly 12 seconds overall.
Very narrow, no grip, no traction, and so I was not confident, so not a good feeling. I had also a spin in a hairpin. Very bad stage for me.
We rejoin Hirvonen now. He started the stage 0.2 of a second ahead of his teammate. So to hold on to his lead, he has to beat this time. Let's see how he does. It's not much of an advantage. Miko not seeming to be quite as comfortable as Marcus here, but at least he has the clean lines to follow. And he can't do it now. No, just 2 seconds slower than Marcus, but that means he loses the lead to his fellow Finn, trailing him by just 1.8 seconds overall. Danny Sordo drove a solid rally last time out. Back into the swing of things on gravel. No doubt eager to help Citroën take the initiative in the manufacturer's title race. 6th last year, the Spaniard should be able to improve on that. He's 5th on stage, leading up the place overall. We've seen 2 previous Acropolis winners, Loeb and Gronholm. Here's a 3rd.
5 left half long, tightens 13, keep middle of a crest and jump
in 2004.
Crest 150.
On stage 2, which means
keep right to the crest, 20, cut 5 left last half long, tightens keep in.
One piece of Subaru news, former
4 right minus tightens 3.
Been brought back to advise the team. So it's a Ford 1-2 at this early stage, just as it finished in Sardinia. Peters in a podium position, followed by Sordo, and then Jari-Matti Latvala. Loeb's right down there in 7th place overall, just behind Chris Atkinson. And via Virtual Spectator, here's that moment which cost Loeb time in the stage. Coming up to that hairpin, Loeb was already trailing the Finns. He spins, and then Hirvonen and Gronholm disappear into the distance. You can't see them for dust. On stages 3 and 4, Thiva and Agia Sotira. Chris Atkinson, who's down there in 6th, senses he needs an increased turn of pace. He really piles it on. He wins both stages. His first stage win since Mexico. Road position may be an advantage, but it's also relevant that he's on a harder tyre compound than most of his rivals. These rocky stages and the mid-morning heat will be taking their toll on the rubber. Even so, he's nearly 8 seconds quicker than anyone else in stage 3. This catapults him into the lead. Marcus Gronholm just can't match those stage times. He drops nearly 12 seconds to Chris on Thiva, another 8.5 on Agia Sotira, which is one of the roughest stages on this tough event. Just look at those rocks. It could do serious damage.
110. Oikein.
Marcus is on the way down, dropping to fourth. Petter Solberg is on the way up. Like Chris, he has that compound rubber on his Impreza and is ripping the awards. At the end of stage 4, he's up to second place, just behind his teammates. And a second ahead of Mikko Hirvonen. The board number 2 stays in the podium positions, but over the course of these 3 stages, he's dropped from first to third, nearly 6 seconds off the leader. So this is how the leaderboard looks after stage 4. It's now a Subaru 1-2. When did we last see that? The 2 Fords follow, and only 9 seconds separate the top 4. Then the 2 Citroens with Seb 6th, still making little impression. That run off stage before service doesn't give him a chance to make any real inroads on those ahead. It's a 5-kilometre sprint around the equestrian centre and right alongside the service park. Great for the fans who can watch service and see some rally action in the same location. Grönholm lost a few more seconds through there, and a chance now to find out why Sebastian Loeb's off the pace.
I was not in a good rhythm. It was very slippery and I couldn't take the feeling. Then I've done a little spin also, and I lost a lot of time at this stage.
Not the same problem with your pace notes as it was in Sardinia?
No, but trying to get the confidence again also, and so I didn't want to take too much risk this morning.
Chris, where did the speed come from this morning?
It's just in the car. Like I think we've been capable of doing that speed probably for 2 years, but you need everything to work, and when the car holds the line, then I can push. It's pretty simple.
Added bonus with road position?
A little bit, but it's not like a Rally Australia or something like that where it sweeps a lot. Okay, it's sweeping in places, but other places it's quite a hard surface and quite rocky, so for sure there's some advantage, but we'll see how much this afternoon.
We had a good tire choice, so the team had done some improvement with the car before the rally, so we will see now the second time through if it will stay the same or something, but things is working better.
And on the first day of the Acropolis Rally, the leader, perhaps surprisingly, is Subaru's Chris Atkinson. Perhaps the management changes in the team have had a much-needed impact already, as well as Chris topping the table at a Solberg second. On stage 6, though, they're being reeled in by a flying Marcus Grönholm. He wins the stage 6 seconds quicker than both Imprezas and moves up to third, ahead of teammate Mikko Hirvonen. Sebastian Loeb's also improving. He's 5th. The leaderboards show you 2 key facts about rallying. 1, crews are driving against the clock. 2, they're driving against each other. Because unlike in circuit racing, they can't physically see whether they're ahead or behind their rivals. And split times throughout the stage is a vital tactical tool. Here's how the driver gets that crucial information.
We have a sophisticated system whereby we get splits approximately every 5 kilometres, showing each driver's relative time over that section compared with his competitor. We then calculate what the difference is between our driver and his nominated rival. The splits come up on the screen, which my colleague Phil reads through to me. I send them by a radio system which comes up on the co-driver's dash inside the car, which gives the driver some indication where he is relative to his competitor. Otherwise he wouldn't know a thing to the end of the stage. We use this quite extensively in order to give us a sporting advantage, and also to help protect the car. If our competitor has a problem, we can then maybe not take the risk we would normally take.
Okay, Sebastian's first split has come up now, and we're showing that Marcus is actually 1.3 seconds quicker. So we're now going to send a split to Marcus, which says -1 LOE at 4Ks.
The co-driver then passes the information on to the driver, up to the driver, how he reacts.
If we're not in a big fight and we are just kind of trying to keep our position, then we just follow the splits and and I just try to keep the rhythm. And it's only just to make sure that we have the speed enough. But when Jarmo tells the splits, if we are 3 or 4 seconds behind, I try to push a bit harder, and if we catch the time in the next split, then I can just slow down and maybe take less risks.
So it's easy. Slow down or speed up. Not quite. Nothing's ever that straightforward.
When you want to slow down, you think you don't want to make a mistake, so you don't want to brake too late, so you begin to brake a bit earlier. Then you lose a bit the feeling because you don't come with the same speed in the corner, so the reaction of the car is different, and then you begin to drive a bit. Sometimes I drive not very nice, not very good in these conditions. So okay, I don't like really these conditions.
In a way, you have the speed all the time. There's just some places where it's a little bit more narrow, or there's cautions on your nose or something. You just go a little bit easier on those places.
But some situations can call for more fundamental average.
Okay, sometimes when you are in front and leading the rally or something, and you have a good gap, then you can drive to the splits. But when the fight is on, there is just fight.
Back to the action on stage 7, where the clock ticks down, and Ford's tactical team of John Millington and Phil Short see Marcus Grönholm onto stage. And Marcus has asked to be informed of the split times for Sebastian Loeb, rather than the drivers ahead of him, Atkinson and Solberg.
Okay, that's Marcus into the stage now.
Grönholm's priority is to beat Seb and maintain or extend his lead in the championship. Seb will be well aware of the Finn strategy. And for the Frenchman too, it's Marcus who will be the focus of his and Citroen's strategic planning. As for Petter Solberg, who hasn't won a rally for well over a year, the final issues of championship points aren't the problem. He just wants to top that podium again.
Minus long, opens tightens 10, 1 left plus, opens at a crest, 14. 36 left minus 7.
But at the moment, it's his teammate in the driving seat. Though Chris Atkinson's now just 3 seconds ahead of Petter, 4 ahead of Marcus, he has some defending to do. Loeb's coming to the 11-kilometre split now. Marcus is already through. He set a time of 8 minutes, 3.5 seconds. Seb trails the Finn by 10.1 seconds overall, so he has some time to make up. He dropped just 8 tenths to Marcus over the first split, and it's still tight to this point. Loeb's now 1.3 seconds behind after 11 kilometres.
Right, centre Marcus minus 1 LOE at 11 Ks. He is slightly better than before, it's still a minus 1. Minus 1 LOE at 11 Ks.
Hope he can hold on to that at the end.
Yeah.
So it's good news that Marcus and Timo here from base. The pressure's still on.
Ja vasen eri lyhyt, 7. Ja vasen hidas, kirraa soppuun, 7. Ja vasemmalla...
And what about the rally leader? Chris Atkinson approaching the split now.
So 6 left minus long, 30 down 5 right, tightens 4 long, opens.
He's already dropped 3.4 seconds at the 4.4 kilometre split. That nearly swallows his lead over the Finn. 4.2 seconds at the stage start. At 11 kilometres, 7.6 seconds slower. That translates to him dropping back behind Grönholm. So let's ride through to the end of the stage with Grönholm. He's fastest so far through the splits. Can he keep it up over this later section of the stage? He's not taking any prisoners. That was a committed drive. His stage time, 16 minutes, 13.3 seconds.
Marcus is quite a big smile, but it's a very big battle as well. Yeah, I don't know exactly how it is, the situation now, but I am going what I can now and pushing maximum. Are you enjoying it? Yeah. Now there is a grip, so it starts to be okay.
Seb, second onto the stage, of course, is the next man to approach the finish. He's just 1.3 seconds off Marcus's pace at the 11-kilometre split. He's fighting for every tenth of a second, and this is going to be close. These two are neck and neck. 7/10 of a second slower than the Big Finn. He made up time over the final sector. He's now 10.8 seconds behind Marcus overall. Still work to be done for the Frenchman. We're with second place Peter Solberg again now. He started the stage just over a second ahead of Marcus overall. He needs to beat that time to stay ahead of the Finn, and he's not going to do it.
6 left minus 1. Tightens Arblong to narrow. 5 right plus. Arblong tightens.
He's 5.8 seconds off Gronholm's pace, so he falls behind Marcus, 4.6 seconds behind Gronholm overall. So has Chris Atkinson managed to improve over the final sector to maintain his lead? 7.6 seconds to Gronholm at the split, and he started the stage with a lead of just 4.2 over the Finn. So this is his target time that he has to beat to hold his position, and Virtual Spectator shows he's considerably slower than Gronholm, Loeb and his teammate Solberg too. The target time's passed and he's still not through, he's lost the lead. And now trails Marcus by 7.4 seconds overall.
I don't know, yes, for sure, but...
Chris, you came into the stage in the lead. That time has lost the lead for you.
But unfortunately, we don't have the same car we had this morning, so that's all I can do.
So Marcus is the man making the big move, but the fastest man on this second run through Thiva is Danny Sordo. He climbs up to 5th, moving ahead of Mikko Hirvonen, who's not on song at all. He drops 2 places overall. Usually this season, by the afternoon of the first day, he's been heading towards the podium positions, so 6th is disappointing. But on the final stage of the day, Hirvonen reversed that situation to move back ahead of Sordo. That was the only change in the top 8. Gronholm nearly doubled his advantage to 8.3 seconds, while Loeb closed on the 2 Subarus. And that means going into the second day, the top 6 are separated by less than 11 seconds. For today, it's been in Greece, but the 2 runs through the 48-kilometre Hagi-Theodori test on day 2 are sure to decide a few issues. It's an event where you have to be tough and lucky to survive unscathed. The teams will use heavy-duty sump guards to protect as much of the car's underside as possible, but this serious lump of steel can't cover everything, and some vulnerable parts are still at risk.
I should be touching some wood while I say this, because things like power steering and
all the arms, the links, damage to your brake calipers,
a shock absorber,
yeah, links in the geometry,
damage in the steering when if you've got full lock on into a corner and the rocks there and you hit the inside of the wheel up and it just pulls the steering away.
The tyres, of course, are in immediate danger. They're in contact with the rock strewn surface of the stages, and punctures are inevitable. The temporary solution is mousse. As soon as there's a loss of air pressure, the mousse expands to fill the space, and often the driver doesn't even know anything's happened.
Normally the only way the mousse will fail is if the breakage in the tyre is so big that the mousse eventually will work its way out. It is only rubber at the end of the day, and over a space of time, hard kilometres, the mousse will eventually work its way out and start to break off. The tyre will go completely flat, it will go down onto actually running in the rim. The first corner he comes into after losing the mousse, the tyre will come away from the side of the wheel. And it's the same as you experience if you have a flat on the motorway. The tyre will separate from the wheel and eventually the tyre disintegrates.
You imagine that you have the tyre and the wheels here, and if they're broken, we directly come to the disc and the caliper, and then just behind you have all those suspension parts, shocks, together with the springs. Then here you have the steering arm and the wishbone. In fact, they are very strong, but not enough if they are touching the ground.
Last year, Sebastian Loeb provided a perfect example of what happens when you've lost the tyre. Total destruction. The car's falling apart as he returns to service.
The new rule says that it's only possible to come back with 4 wheels on the car. So if you broke this, I think it's time to go to Super Rally.
All those concerns could well come to the fore on the first stage of day 2. Agi Theodori, a 48-kilometre monster, one of the longest and roughest stages of the season. Running 5th overall, Mikko Hirvonen will be wanting to improve today. This was a rally he thought he had a chance of winning, but so far he's looked less than impressive. Oh, he's lost it here! This could be catastrophic for the Finn into the vegetation at 150 kilometres an hour. He makes his way back through the undergrowth and onto the stage. Precious seconds lost though. He looks a little unnerved. Let's see that again. Mikko, incredibly lucky to miss those trees, and he can be thankful there were no big rocks hiding in there. But just look at the state of his windscreen, that won't help him. Back to start, Sebastian Loeb, 4th overall, is waiting for the signal to go. Seb started slowly here, but has gradually been working his way up the leaderboard. He needs to beat Marcus Grönholm to close up on him in the championship standings. Chris Atkinson has already fallen foul of the conditions on stage 10. The tyres, as we've seen, are the part of the car in immediate danger, and Chris has 2 punches. Listen to the rubber flapping. He's having to nurse the Impreza through. The Australian dropped from 1st to 3rd on the afternoon of day 1. He'll be hoping to stay in the points. His teammate, 2nd place Petter Solberg, is back at the start. He's off. Subaru seemed to suffer from handling problems after the midday service yesterday, whereas they blitzed the field in the morning. So Petter's on the attack. No problems so far for the rally leader, Marcus Grönholm. Ford have an incredible record here in Greece, winning 5 of the last 7 Acropolis rallies, including last season when they went on to take the manufacturer's title. The French team, Citroën, in comparison, have a poor record on this event. Just 1 victory here in 5 attempts. But Seb, of course, has mastered the Acropolis, victorious 2 years ago. He's fastest so far on stage 10. We've seen what kind of damage can result from a simple puncture. We're in danger of rally-ending destruction. You have to remember too that a new rule insists that cars cannot enter road sections without the full complement of wheels. 50 cut 7 left. But Chris Atkinson, albeit 2 minutes slower than Loeb, does finish the stage.
The tyre went down, like no impact, nothing. I don't know why.
You didn't hit anything, you didn't see anything?
Nothing.
Spare wheel will need to go before he reaches the road section. They rejoin Petr now, and having started the stage just a second and a half ahead of Loeb, he was faster than the Frenchman until the 35-kilometre split, where he reported being caught in Chris Atkinson's dust. So in the end he drops time to Seb, time he can ill afford to lose.
Keep in to cut hairpin right. 13, 2 left minus, tightens 1, 15.
Marcus is coming to the final sector now, not far to go. The Finn had an 8.3-second lead over the Norwegian at the start of the stage, so let's see if he loses ground or pulls away. Wow, this is going to be a sensational drive. He's going to be much faster than Petr and is extending his rally lead. 11.8 seconds faster. The lead over Solberg now 20.1 overall. Sebastian Loeb is now just 0.3 of a second behind Petter Solberg's Subaru. The other Subaru driver, Chris Atkinson, falls to 7th thanks to those punches, while Mikko Hirvonen, who was also in the wars, drops behind Danny Sordo. And at the remote service, Mikko Hirvonen's car is looking rather the worse for wear. The regulations allow just the 4 mechanics to work on the car with Mikko and Jarmo. So the crew gets set for the hot work of patching up the battered Focus. They can only use parts carried in the rally car, which means no new windscreen for the Finns. So they'll have to drive the next loop of stages with limited vision, starting with Loutraki, stage 11. Where Sebastian Loeb beats Petter Solberg by 1.4 seconds. And that's enough for him to overhaul the Subaru and take second place. But not for long, as on Agia Triada, stage 12, the Norwegian fights back. Wins the stage 5 seconds faster than Loeb, so he retakes second with a lead of 3.9 seconds over the Frenchman.
Fresh off, 1 left bus, 20, lead to 1 right arm.
Loeb's Citroën teammate Danny Sordo was promoted to 4th following the problems of Chris Atkinson and Mikko Hirvonen. The Spaniard's been consistent so far, not taking risks and keeping out of trouble. But Danny's in difficulties now. Just listen to that engine noise. Something's definitely wrong. It sounds as if the car's gear change system's not working. Mark Marty gets out to investigate, but there's nothing he or Sordo can do. They're going no further today, and that could be costly for Citroën's hopes in the Manufacturers' Championship. Marcus Grönholm beats second place Petter Solberg on stage 11, but by a little more than a second. So there's no let up for the Finn. He's pushing all the way. Oh, but he's overshot that corner, luckily avoiding any of those rocks. As it is, though, he drops nearly 5 seconds to his rival. And Grönholm lost another 0.2 of a second to Solberg on the short Marco Polo stage that took the cruise back to service. Solberg set the fastest time there, increasing his lead over Loeb to 4.7 seconds, and Chris Atkinson's fought his way back to 5th. No time for a breather at service. The rally leader is thinking ahead to the second run through the hell of the long Agi Theodori stage.
Marcus, 16 seconds isn't much going into this stage, is it?
No, it's not much when we know that it's a 48k, so it will be tough.
Is this stage make or break for the whole rally? If you come out leading, do you think that's pretty much it?
No, not really. If I'm leading, yes, a lot, then it's okay, but I don't think so. It will be hard for the tyres and the tyre wear now, so we have to look after that a bit.
The tyre choice for Grönholm and his team is between a narrow tyre which is faster but less durable and a wider tyre which will provide more grip and should handle the rough conditions better. They've gone for the first option, but it's been a tough decision.
The trouble is we're in a different situation at the moment than what you probably normally are in Acropolis. You know, normally you build up quite a good lead and you can really plan, but at the moment there's still a lot of pressure on. And we felt that it's still important to look at, you know, the performance side of it as well. I mean, in relation to how quick Petter and Sebastian's going. Okay, it's going to be pretty close, but we feel that you know, obviously Marcus understands that he's in control of managing that situation as to how close he can get to actually, should we say, wearing the tyres out.
So here we go again into the grueling Agi Theodori. Marcus Grönholm was one of the few to escape unscathed this morning. He'll be hoping the gods continue to smile on him this afternoon. He'll be listening intently for those split times and praying that the curse of the punches passes him by. His teammate Mikko Hirvonen clearly wasn't praying hard enough. After an off on the first run through this stage, which it turns out was due to a late pace note, he suffers a puncture on this pass. The tyres clearly starting to vibrate. His position's not very great. The loss of time surely puts it at risk. The tyre totally disintegrated 5 kilometres from the end of the stage. Just look at the state of it now. Sebastian road isn't immune from danger either. A puncture at the 40-kilometre mark, and though only having to drive another 8 kilometres, it's still costly. You can see how gently he's taking it.
Droite 143, moins pire à cheval, frein. Pour gauche 120.
As you'll see at the end of the stage, one tyre is very damaged, the other's completely missing.
8 kilometers like this. Since 8 kilometers I feel it's finished. I try to go very slowly to go to the end, not to have to change. I lost a lot of time, but less than if I had to change in the stage, so... Okay.
Do you think it's in fifth place? Chris Atkinson, who destroyed the wheel this morning, gets a damper through here this afternoon. He also backs off to try to preserve his tyres. Because of Atkinson's reduced pace, Wolfman's Hirvonen holds his position despite losing a minute. In the other Subaru, Petter Solberg is holding on to second place, but not without difficulty. That's broken a damper. It's 13 on the stage, and nothing's minus Solberg's exhaust as this fantastic onboard camera angle shows us.
Keep in on the crest, the slide right at 120. 6 right bus, opens long, keep very in on the crest. Right at 5.
The damper's off.
Yeah.
Our damper broken in the middle of the stage. There's no damping.
Placed low. This is coming to the end of the stage. Once again, he and Timo Rautiainen have navigated their way safely through the toughest challenge Greece has to offer. Again, their fastest on Ashi Theodori, extending their lead to nearly 36 seconds overall. So Grönholm's in the clear, but he's one of the few with happy memories of this toughest of stages. Stobart Ford's Murphy Wilson has had a turbulent time in Greece, losing time with an overshoot and stall yesterday, bruising his ribs in an impact this morning. He's one of the many with severe tyre damage here. He's 10th. Luis Perez compact driving for Munchie's Ford is running 12th. And he too has to deal with a puncture here on stage 14. Jari-Matti Latvala came into the stage in a point-scoring position, but Ashi Theodori bites him hard. 2 punches, he drops 9 minutes, tumbling to 14th.
Both front tires, we have a puncture. Just slow punches once again, and both front, so I don't know what to say.
Only Citroen's Manfred Stoll has failed to shine. He's running 7th, and this stage makes life even tougher for the Austrian. Yes, another puncture. He opts to change a wheel and drops to 8th. Jan Kopecky takes advantage of that. No problems for the Czech driver in his Skoda. He climbs from 9th into 7th. Another man with a clear run through stage 14, Henning Solberg. The Norwegian opted for a harder tyre compound than teammate Latvala. It's not the fastest choice, but it's worked for him. He's 6th. Back at the top, confirmation that Grönholm has extended his lead to a potential rally-winning 35.7 seconds. Solberg now 13.6 seconds ahead of Loeb. The damaged damper on Chris Atkinson's car leads with that desperate domino effect that can so easily happen on these rough events to even greater problems. A broken drive shaft, costing him 1.5 minutes on stage 16. But it could have been much worse here. He drops to 6th, Henning Solberg goes up to 5th. The other Subaru of Petter Solberg's also in difficulties. Struggling with his broken damper, he drops time to 3rd place. Sebastian Loeb on both stages 15 and 16. Frenchman takes advantage. He's fastest on both of these stages, climbing into 2nd place on Adrian, where he's 23 seconds quicker than Petter, without an advantage of 18.5 seconds over the Norwegian overall. Marcus Grönholm, cool, calm and collected, sails through these 2 stages without any difficulty. He's 2nd quickest in both. By the end of the 8 stages out in the country, he's built up a 44 seconds. Grönholm's lead was trimmed by a few tenths on the Super Special that wrapped up the day's action. He'll take a lead of 43.3 seconds into the final day. Loeb's now second, nearly 25 seconds ahead of Petter Solberg. Hirvonen holds on to fourth. Chris Atkinson started the event impressively, leading the rally on the morning of the first day. He fell away during the afternoon and was troubled by punctures yesterday. Even so, the car's shown encouraging pace and now running sixth overall. This wouldn't be a bad return for Subaru.
6 left and taken 3 long, open.
Ahead heading Solberg has kept it relatively clean. A pretty trouble-free run on this rough and tumble rally. The Norwegian heading for his 5th points finish of the season.
Line til plass kort 6 høyre. Til plass venstre over hopp 120. 6 venstre
In 4th place overall, Mikko Hirvonen might be a little disappointed here. He showed in Sardinia that he could keep up with the big boys, but here in Greece he struggled to do that. An excursion into the undergrowth yesterday. Petter Solberg, on the other hand, will be pleased if he holds on to this podium position. Only his 2nd of the season. That the car's keep on the pace, though, is a really positive sign for Subaru's future. Sebastian Loeb is hanging on to 2nd place. After retiring while leading on the final day in Sardinia, you'd have to think it unlikely he'd push too hard. Loeb wins stage 18, taking 6 seconds out of Marcus Grönholm's lead. But the Finn goes on to win stage 19, only by 2 seconds. It sends out a clear message to the Frenchman. Marcus will fight hard for this. He's heading for the 20th win of his long and impressive career.
8.
Marcus, a little bit slower than Sebastian, but you've been just driving to his splits, just keeping him in check?
Yeah, okay, I start very slowly and then I have to a little bit speed up, but okay, still a long way to go.
So Grönholm still nearly 40 seconds ahead, while Petter Solberg's dropped further behind Loeb, and it looks pretty much settled throughout the leaderboard, barring mishaps, mistakes or disasters, which is always possible in Greece. Back at service and a good washdown for Sebastian Loeb's C4, which had acquitted itself well in Greece, as well as Marcus Grönholm's Ford Focus. The team are heading for a 6th win here in 8 seasons, and Marcus is heading towards a solid lead in the championship before the WRC's summer break. The last 3 stages are crucial. Repeats of Avlonis and Asopia are the first of those stages, followed by the finale at the Hippodrome Super Special. One of the first cars into these stages is Britain's Kyle Williams, who's ranked 9th, on the way to his first finish in a WRC car. A notable achievement, especially as he's managed to stay ahead of Stobart's Matthew Wilson on his 26th event. In the final point-scoring position is Manfred Stoll. Nothing particularly memorable for the Austrian in this Greek adventure. He's yet to finish in the top 5 this season. Ahead of him is Jan Kopecky in the Skoda, who's driven a solid rally. He'll double his points tally for the year, assuming he makes it safely home in 7th place. Fourth overall coming into the final stretch of this epic rally is Mikko Hirvonen. It's a sign of how far the things progressed in the last 12 months that he'll no doubt be a little disappointed. But I doubt the team will complain with Citroen's Danny Sawyer outside the points. He's helping them extend their lead in the Manufacturers' Championship. Mikko can look ahead to the second part of the season, starting in Finland, his home rally with confidence. Petter Petter Solberg looks to be heading for third. The new Impreza has shown it can stay on the pace of the leading cars, and that's vital for the team and the driver's future. It's been another dedicated performance from the Norwegian. When he comes back refreshed and renewed after the summer break, I think we can expect to see Petter battling for the top 2 places on the podium. As for Sebastian Loeb, who's running second, this half of the year looks to be ending with a whimper rather than a bang. He's usually topping the table and pulling away at this stage. Instead, there'll be no let-up as the WRC heads for the business end of the season. That said, these have been the first 8 rallies for an entirely new car, and it's clearly competitive on every surface. Seb and Citroën battling in on this. But Marcus Grönholm set to be the hero of the first part of 2007. He's on his way to his 3rd win of the season and a very respected lead in the driver's title race. If he finishes like this, he'll have a 9-point advantage over Seb. It's the 10th time he's tackled this event. Both wins have come in the focus. He and his reliable car make a great partnership. Just the super special stage to go now. It looks like those tyres are still in good condition. And Grönholm's lead going into the final stage, 38.5 seconds. Marcus and Seb are about to go head-to-head at the Hippodrome spectator stage. Well, Grönholm said that victory in Sardinia gave him back the initiative. His plan was to win here and then in Finland. He's pretty much there on the first half of his ambition. And we know from the record books, he'll be hard to beat at his home event. But Sebastian Loeb can never be underestimated. This man has a rare and special talent. Yes, he slipped up a few times in 2007, but form is temporary, class is permanent. He's already won 4 events this year. His rivals will know not to discount him. But for now, Marcus is the star. He and Timo Rautiainen have conquered the Acropolis, their 28th career victory. And this also marks a 60th win for Ford. A fantastic achievement for driver, co-driver and team. Team boss Malcolm Wilson there, clearly delighted. And the man who designed the Ford Focus World Rally car, Christian Loriot, looking very emotional. So here's how it finished. Marcus with his 2nd successive victory, Loeb 2nd and Solberg taking 3rd. Henning 5th as he was last year and Jan Kopecky in the points. That perfect 10 for Grönholm, great for him and Ford in the title races. The team really looking strong with Mikko also bringing home points, while Danny Sordo failed to score for Citroën. Marcus and Timo really delighted with this. It's been one of the toughest events of the season so far, but they got through ahead of the pack.
Marcus, a great way to end the first half of the season.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, now we have a small break. Okay, we have a few tests, but good like this. And Finland, we have an updated car and should be a little bit better. Not magic things, but it looks good.
It was not so easy here. And Marcus was really fast from the start to the end. He didn't make any mistake. We were not so lucky here. The puncture the second day that made and I lost some time for that, and then I had to accept that it's no chance to win.
What are you going to be doing over the summer break? What are you going to be concentrating on? Are you going to be working a lot on the car?
No, we have few tests, and then we have also quite a good holiday period, so I'm happy for that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's a 9-point lead Marcus will take into the summer break. His total is 65 to Loeb's 56 points. Hivinen 7 points back in 3rd, Sordo still 4th, and Petter Solberg 5th. In the Manufacturers' Championship, it's looking good for Ford, 28 points clear at the top. Citroën 2nd and Subaru have moved back into 3rd at the expense of Stobart. Munchies Ford have their first point. The WRC takes its mid-season break, but we'll be back in August for Marcus Grönholm's home event, Rally Finland, where he's won 6 times, and he'll have the latest evolution of the Ford Focus for the occasion. A preview on WRC.com. So a 60th win for Ford, a 28th for Marcus. Team and driver top their respective standings with excellent half year's work. Have a great summer and join us again